Hey everybody, I'm Howard, and this is Otto's Retirement Corner. Okay, so I went back to the hospital. Call me insane, but I went back to the hospital. So that did my last video Monday. Told you about the possible heart attack. Monday morning, I had done a walk on the treadmill, very successful. Walked for 20 minutes, up to 3 miles an hour, heart rate about 80 max, so really good. Then Monday afternoon, late afternoon, I did another walk. Was going about 2.2 miles an hour. Everything was going fine. 5 minutes in, everything good. Boom, heart rate takes off. Um, Cold sweats, lightheadedness, dizziness. Thought I was going to pass out. Heart just pounding, strong, fast. Scared the crap out of me. I'm home alone. What do I do? So I go sit down on the couch, try to calm myself down, take some deep breaths. It's really not working. So, okay, here comes Juno. All right, sit down, sweetie. So, I'm here with the dogs. That's it. So what do I do? It got scary. There were a few times I felt like I was passing out. So I called the ambulance. They come and get me. They get my heart rate at like 120 over 120. They get my blood pressure like 167 over 120, something like that. Um, Take me off to the hospital I went to the first time when I had the major heart attack. Um, they go through the whole same process again, take blood for troponin levels, EKG. The EMT on the way there was doing EKGs, and he said he thought he saw something that might indicate a right side of the heart blockage. When they read it, a separate EKG in the hospital, they said, yeah, we're seeing something that's different from the last one we did here. There was some change. We're not sure what that means or what it is, though. So, now we're back to the same point. What's causing this? Troponin level results come back. And when I left the hospital last week, the second time, they had gone down to 280, which may or may not have indicated a heart attack, but, because it could have been from the prior time. But this time it was 17. So that indicated the second time may have been a heart attack. Who knows? Doesn't matter, because this time it wasn't a heart attack. They took the level again in 2 hours, 17 again. Definitive proof that there's no heart damage. So now they decide that, okay, let's go look at the stents we put in and see if those are causing a problem somehow. So that means I'm going back to the Cath lab. And as any of you who listened to my last video know, I don't want to go to the Cath lab. I don't want that experience again. But this time they're not going to put balloons in. They're not going to put stents in. They're just going to put the wire in with the camera and check and see what it looks like. Is there another blockage somehow? Is something happening to the stents? Are they moved? They folded? Whatever. Okay. So, I'd gone there Monday late afternoon. So I'm there all Monday night going through all this, getting more tests Tuesday. They did ultrasound on my carotid arteries to make sure there's no blockage there. Um, did the echo on my heart again to measure all that. It looks slightly different, but, nothing terrible. And okay, we'll get you in Wednesday morning to the Cath lab. So I'm there, a day and a half already, and looking at 2 days. So Wednesday morning comes around, and there's delays because they have emergencies, and I understand that. So they finally get me in there at 1 o'clock. They give me the Versed, that calming, uh, whatever you want to call it. They're not putting me out. It's anesthesia, but they're not putting me out. And for those of you, many of you who asked in the comments, no, they were not lax and not knocking me out. They just don't do that in cath labs. They need you awake. They don't want to put a tube down your throat. They don't want breathing problems in there. It's just not done. So they give me that, and they give me the fentanyl right off the bat. Everyone in the cath lab knows what happened last time. One of the people had been there, and she vouched, yeah, it went really bad. So they're all aware. They're going to take care of me. And this time, the whole process in there this time is less than half the time. The whole process of putting the the camera through the wire, into my heart takes about 15 minutes. So they go through my wrist again. Unfortunately, that's blocked. It was still swollen or scar tissue from the last time. So they had to pull it out of there. I'm going to be so black and blue there. I don't know if you can see that. Doesn't matter. They go through my groin now. No difference really, except it's a little longer to travel. But I felt nothing. Felt absolutely nothing. I was totally aware. I could feel everything that was going on. I could see everything. I can hear everything, but there was no pain. When I say felt nothing, there was no pain. I felt the when they make the little tiny incision in you and when they put the wire in there, but I don't feel it in my heart. I don't feel the burning. I don't feel the pain. Anything goes well. They get me out of there. The stents are fine. Okay, so we still have the problem of what's causing this. So the doctor said, the simplest, easiest thing to do is to give you beta blockers. Beta blockers lower your heart rate. So you don't have what they think now is some sort of AFib, fibrillation, palpitations, rapid heartbeat, something electrical. Simplest thing is give you beta blockers. And 99.9% of the time, he said, we give you beta blockers, and that solves the problem. The issue is with me, I have an unusually low resting heart rate. Because I work out so much and because I'm so active, they're monitoring me there. They see this. When I'm sitting there resting in bed, it's in the 50s. My heart rate's in the 50s. When I'm sleeping overnight, my heart rate's in the 40s. If they give me beta blockers, I will die. He said it that simply. You'll bottom out. Your heart rate will bottom out, and you'll die. So they can't do that. So I go. Today's Thursday. I'll go back to their office on Friday tomorrow, and I will get a heart monitor, and we'll try to match up the feelings I have when I'm walking or working out or running with what the heart monitor is reading. And we'll try to figure this out. If I have to get a pacemaker or who knows what, some sort of electrical I don't know what those devices are, but they're able to stimulate your heart electronically. I don't know. That's to be seen. So more on this is coming. I don't want to do too many of these videos. I'm tired of them. I'm tired of these things happening to me, but certainly glad to hear your comments and have the discussions with you in the comment section and hear about your experiences. The recommendations are all over the place. I'll follow my doctor's orders for now before I do any of those alternative actions, and kind of take it from there, I guess. So thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next time.